Okay, welcome everybody. We're going to do a tutorial today in After Effects. It should be the same lesson that you've looked at in class. So let's get right to it. Okay, so we're in After Effects, and the first thing we need to do is input our material. Shortcut is to double click, find out where your material is, select all that you want, select import. Once we have it, I'm going to pick my larger size file, which is, just have a look here, 34, and I'm going to drag it into this composition menu right here. That means create new composition, and it allows me to have the same dimensions and length as my longest video and the exact dimensions of my window screen, which in this case is my cell phone. So I've got one video in there, ends in 9:10, so let's go 7, this one, bring it down. All right, because I have one video on top, just like a normal video layer, you cannot see what's underneath. But if I move this guy over, half and half, you should be able to see that I have two distinct layers here. Yes, there we go. Okay. All right, so let's start with the top layer. The top layer, I'm first going to select my effects and controls panel. And to find that, I'm going to look on the right-hand side, effects and presets. If you cannot find it, make sure that in your window panel, you are either set to your workspace being default or effects. Either will work. Now, under effects and presets, you can either scroll down to keying and find Keylight 1.2, or you can actually just type it in your effects and presets and it should pop up. There we go. I use it often, so it's already highlighted. I'm going to drop it onto my screen, and from here, I'm going to select my eyedropper tool. I'm going to select part of the green that's around the subject's head, and I'm going to change my view from final result to screen matte. I'm going to make my foreground as white as I can and my background as dark as I can. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to play with my screen matte settings. So under screen matte, I'm going to turn on my clip black and clip white, and I'm going to bump up the clip black so that the black becomes dark. And when my foreground starts to get affected, I know I've gone too far. Probably about there. And I want my white to be as white as I can, so I'm going to drop that down. Perfect. Okay, around the 60 mark each. Now that I have this pretty much set up, I'm going to go back up to my view. I'm going to change it back to final result. Fantastic. All right, I'm going to take this second layer here and I'm going to poke it in the eye, just so you can see exactly what's going on. Now, because I have some roof and some of the side out as well, I'm going to mask it out by taking my pen tool, and I'm going to create a boundary. And all I'm doing is I'm telling the computer what's going to act as my screen. So only what's inside my boundary is going to be my screen. Therefore, what's on the outside gets erased. Pretty nifty. All right, I'm going to repeat this process on the bottom layer. Turn him on, turn this guy off, and I'm going to make sure that he is selected. Find Keylight, drop it on, pick that up, screen matte, and repeat the process. Too far, perfect. Okay, now that I have that, go back up here, final result, and go back to my pen tool. I don't like this stuff up here, so I'm gonna try to crop it out. Fantastic. Okay, now that I have that there, I can turn this guy back on. So I have two characters on top of each other. I need to split them up. So I'm going to select the layer that has the first character. You can tell because it has the outline boxes, the boundary boxes. I'm not going to select the mask. I'm going to select the boundary box. And I'll put this guy over here to the outside. Now click on this layer. Do the exact same thing, but do not click on the mask. Click on the boundary. Now he's a little bit small in terms of scaling, so I can tell that my camera work or the person who's filming didn't quite do a decent job. So I can always bump that up. Position him there. Now when I play it back, too big. I'm going to have to track it a little bit so I have the correct motion. All right, now the whole point of a green screen is to put something behind it. So I'm going to go back into my panel control, find my project, double click, and I'm going to find something that's in the background. Let's say an empty rooftop. Sure. Take my empty rooftop, drop it beneath. It is really small. Okay. So let's ramp that up. And just like that, I have myself a green screen. Let that render out a little bit. Okay. So this guy on the left is actually using his hand to flicker the character on the right. So what I probably should do is reflect that image and swap them positions. But for the time being, you guys understand what a green screen is and how to mask it out. So hopefully you learned something today. I'm going to end the video there, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.